Welcome back to my animal education series. Today, I'm here with Mike at Six Flags Safari Off-Road Adventure. Hello.
Hey there, what's up?
Nothing much. What can you tell us about these giraffes?
What do you want to know? These are giraffes. We have reticulated giraffes, which is one of those 9 subspecies of giraffe, and they're called reticulated because of that pattern that you see on them. Reticulated means net-like, and you can really see that it sort of has a net-like appearance with those spots. And those spots, actually make really fantastic camouflage. It's hard to imagine, but if you were to see these guys out in the wild standing next to a couple trees, you might not even spot them. They really are fantastically camouflaged with that coat of theirs.
Where can you find these reticulated giraffes?
So reticulated giraffes all giraffes in general are native to sub-Saharan Africa. Hi Georgia. These guys native to parts of East Africa.
Where can you find some of the other subspecies of giraffes?
So other subspecies really just kind of depends on the subspecies are found in just different pockets of sub-Saharan Africa. Really the only things that make them different subspecies are those areas that they're found. They will have different patterns on them. A lot of the time, this is our male coming over, so you can see he's a lot bigger. The reason the giraffes have that long neck, a lot of people think it's just they stretch their neck really far so they could reach leaves on the tops of trees. But it's actually because the males will use their necks to fight. So you can see he has a huge head. Males will actually use their head and their neck sort of like a battering ram and just smack each other in the chest when they're fighting over females. So over time, evolutionarily, those necks got a lot longer just because the longer your neck is, essentially the more momentum you can get, the better you can, beat up other guys.
That's a really good example of evolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Necks.
Because again, a lot of people thought it was just stretching and that's how it worked. It had a lot of benefits outside of that, because now these guys can fill a niche. They're able to eat foods that pretty much other animals aren't able to get to. Maybe an elephant can knock a tree down and get to the food that's on the top of the tree, but these guys with pretty much no effort, they're able to just eat the leaves that are all the way on the tops of those trees. Whereas most antelope and things can only reach reach leaves that are at sort of that lower level.
So is that what they mostly eat in the wild? Leaves?
Yep, so these guys, they're browsers as well. Their favorite food is the acacia tree, or the leaves of the acacia tree. And acacias have, hi guy, they have really large thorns on them. So if you get a look at his tongue, you gonna stick your tongue out for me? There you go. They have a really long, dexterous tongue. So they can sort of use that tongue to navigate between those thorns and grab up all those really tasty acacia leaves. Here, I'm feeding them right now some sweet potato. This is sort of just a snack for him. They get a lot of hay and grain throughout the day. But this is something that's a little bit sweeter because we wanted him to come over and hang out with us. And that's something that he definitely wants to come and eat over here.
So what are these things on the top of his heads? That kind of look like horns.
Yep, so they're sort of like horns. They're called ossicones. And pretty much the only difference between them and horns is that they're covered in hair right here. Normal horns are covered in a keratin coat that sort of makes just sort of like a hard sheath over top of the horns. These guys, they've just got that hair on top. Males, generally, those will get a little bit more worn down. They are larger, but because they fight, they get torn up a little bit more just from constantly battering into other males. Conan, though, he's our only male. Just again, we don't want to have a couple guys out here fighting over these pretty ladies. So we've only got Conan, and he's got just a bunch of girlfriends.
What do you like most about these giraffes?
What isn't there to like about giraffes? These guys are really fun. Again, just like everything, I absolutely love their personality. And they're really good-looking animals. That's Noelle. I think she's really pretty. Conan's really handsome. So that's just like a weird little thing that I like about these guys.
It's really cool to look at, like, the patterns.
Absolutely. That's, giraffes are definitely a favorite, a fan favorite at zoos and other parks like ours. And you can really get an understanding why. They're absolutely massive. We're standing, probably 5-6 feet off the ground right now, and these guys were already, we're at head level. When they're picking their heads up, they're already taller than us. Yes. You can see Conan walking around over there. He's probably, 18, 19 feet tall.
They're a very unique looking animal. That's what I like about them.
Absolutely. You're crazy looking, aren't you, bud?
Long legs and the long neck, just a really tall creature.
Yeah, so if you look at one of our juveniles walking over there, they have a really unique way of walking. So most animals, they'll walk with like their right front leg and their left back leg and alternate that way. These guys, though, their necks are their legs are super long, so they'll actually use both right legs and then both left legs, alternating that way so that they don't trip over their own feet.
With an animal of this size, will there be any predators just like this?
With juveniles, that's always a problem. You can have lions and that sort of thing that will prey on the babies. But these guys, when they're first born, they can, start walking with the herd within hours. That way they are preyed upon. But when you're as big as this guy and you have huge, strong legs, nothing's really going to want to try and get you, because one swift kick from that guy can do a lot of damage.
Are there any disadvantages having really long legs and a long neck? Like drinking?
Yeah, so with these guys, when they drink, they don't do it that often because they have to spread their legs out really, really long to get their head all the way to the ground. And now if most animals were to do that, because that neck is so long and their heart is actually huge, pumps a lot of blood, all that blood rushing back to their head, they can get really kind of dizzy from that. But they've got a special series of kind of arteries and stuff in their neck that can kind of shut off so that all that blood doesn't rush at the same time. But they're really, really built fantastically well for coping with that large size that they've got.
Well, thank you so much, Mike, for telling us all about these reticulated giraffes.
Absolutely.
And Conan left us a little bit. There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Well, if you guys liked this episode, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel. Come back next week for some more animal education.